Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the TK423 podcast. And today we have a special day in line because we are going to be talking about a certain character that is one of the biggest characters in all of Star Wars fandom. Personally, my favorite character. You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Revan? I expect not. Darth Revan was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful, so wise. He could even go from being a Jedi to a Sith back to a Jedi. So, yes, we're going to be talking about Darth Revan himself. And we're not just going to be, going on and on and on about how awesome Darth Revan is. No, we're going to take a little bit of an exploration into the possibility of him getting his own project here in the near future. And whether it's a Disney Plus series, a movie, a trilogy, I think any of them could be very beneficial to us Darth Revan fans, right? But let's get into it, shall we?
So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
Darth Revan. You originally first see Darth Revan in 2003 in the highly acclaimed video game Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And here's a little treat I want to show everyone. So this, I said we would look into collectibles on here. This is a copy of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for the original Xbox, factory sealed. And it's in the shadow box, and I absolutely love this. It's obviously my favorite video game of all time, and if you haven't heard of it as a Star Wars fan, if you haven't played it as a Star Wars fan and a fan of video games, I highly suggest you go and play this game. I mean, you could play it on Steam, your Nintendo Switch, your Xbox, PlayStation, I'm pretty sure, and I feel like if you haven't, you got to. Because you're talking about a story that you really haven't seen on the big screen from any Star Wars project. It's about Darth Revan, where he was a Jedi originally, right? He was trained as a Jedi Knight. He then turns to the dark side with him and his apprentice Darth Malak. And then Darth Malak betrays him, and if you want to play the game, skip about 30 seconds if you don't want to be spoiled. But starting now. Darth Malak betrays him, and then Bastila Shan, not necessarily rescues him, I would say captures Revan in a disabled state. And Darth Revan basically loses his memory, and he becomes a Jedi again. And he ends the game, according to canon, they go with the light side ending. So there's two endings you can go with. There's a dark side ending, there's a light side ending. According to canon, they went with the light side ending. So he basically defeated Darth Malak and defeated the Sith Legion, the Sith Empire that he built. And he did it as a Jedi again. And I think with all the emotion that you feel in the game, with all the emotion that you get from between him and Karth, him and Bastila, even him and Jolee, right? My boy Jolee Bindo. It was, like I said, something you've never seen in modern day Star Wars, even in the original trilogy or the sequel trilogy or the prequel trilogy. You haven't seen it, right? Now, the only one that would come close, right, is Anakin. right? Because he obviously became a Jedi, became a Sith, and then became a Jedi again. The only difference is Revan didn't die when he became a Jedi again. So his life went on, he get captured by the Sith Emperor, and was held captive for, I think, hundreds of years. And Revan is a sensitive subject for some because we don't know if we really want a movie or a TV show about him. Because right now, and where Darth Revan stands, he is already one of the greatest Star Wars characters to ever be made. Right? And I feel like some people, and sometimes I think this way, sometimes I'm too excited to contain myself, and I'm just like, yeah, I would love a movie. But then I sit back and think, do I want Disney to have the keys to Darth Revan? And potentially, I'm not saying they will, but potentially ruin his legacy, right? And of course, it's valid for me to be afraid of that after seeing what happened with the original trilogy characters and Han, Leia, and Luke, right? Whether you agree with that narrative or not, it can be turned into an issue. So, who could do Revan really well? Who could create his story and make it blend with modern day Star Wars, right? Granted, this is set hundreds of years before what we're currently seeing, right? But I think the guy to do it would be none other than Dave Filoni, because Dave Filoni has the creativity, he has the flexibility, and he has the dedication and focus and respect for source material. Because if you remember, there was a deleted scene. I don't remember the exact Clone Wars episode that they were going to put it on, but there was a deleted scene from the Clone Wars where it showed Darth Revan and I believe Darth Bane as well, kind of just speaking in a spiritual way, with statues of them. But Dave Filoni, that shows me that Dave Filoni has, some knowledge on Darth Revan. If not a lot of knowledge, he probably played this game. He probably has read the Revan book. He's, I would not put it past Mr. Dave. So, if you put Dave Filoni at the helm of this, I would be 100% confident this would be fine. As long as he does good with the Ahsoka show, which I think he will. I said in my previous video, I think he will. And as long as he knocks the Mandoverse movie out of the park, which I think, depending on how this show goes, could dictate the future of the Mandoverse movie. So, now we get into the juicy topic of who would play Darth Revan. Who would play Darth Revan? Now, 95% of fandom wants to have Keanu Reeves play as him. And I get that. He does fit the role in terms of visuals perfectly. But I feel like there's another name that needs to be thrown into the hat. And I feel like this could be a better option than Keanu Reeves. And that is Tom Hiddleston. He's already a highly acclaimed actor in terms of a fantasy role, right? He's played Loki. That is his role, right? Now, where I think he has the upper hand on Keanu Reeves is that he can act in a way that he is evil and sinister, but at the same time, he's good. Like, he has good tendencies, right? He's deceptive behind those good tendencies, right? But you see it on screen on how it can unfold as a Darth Revan, right? And for someone like Darth Revan, who teetering between the light and the dark, and starting, like, imagine this. Just sit back, picture this, okay? Loki is a Jedi, right? Loki is a Jedi. He turns to the dark side, builds up this legion, and then is betrayed by his apprentice. And then he lost his memory. Kind of like how Loki acted in season 1 of Loki when, his variant was like, I don't know any of that stuff that happened. And then he goes back and looks at everything that happened and he feels remorse and he wants to change. And that's kind of the same vibe you get from Darth Revan. So if you take all that and you envision it, and you want the long hair, probably give him a beard, give him a little dark contour, I think it would be perfect, right? And I personally like Tom Hiddleston more than Keanu Reeves as an actor, okay? That's just my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, both will do a fantastic job if given the chance, I think. So, those are the two keys as to whether or not us Darth Revan fans really want to see him come onto the big screen. Get someone like Dave Filoni or Dave Filoni to get at the helm of this, okay? And then cast him right. Keanu Reeves, Tom Hiddleston, someone that will fit the bill. And I feel like if they can do that, if they can slam dunk a Revan project, you will bring in a lot more fans. You will expose a lot more fans to a character they don't know a lot about, if not anything. And you're getting a story. If they go off Knights of the Old Republic, right? They could go off the Old Republic after he is captured by the Sith Emperor. They could go off of that, right? But if this, for funds, if they go off of Knights of the Old Republic video game, and they just make a movie based off of that, and they do it well, do it with the right people, that would be groundbreaking. I'm not saying it would save modern day Star Wars, modern day Disney Star Wars. I'm saying that it would help the outlook going forward beyond that, if it did good. Kind of like what I was saying about the Ahsoka show, that if it does good, that it'll change the outlook on how Disney does things with Star Wars. But I feel like it has to happen because he's too big of a character to leave in a video game or leave in a book, right? But at the end of the day, that's all we've had of Darth Revan, and still one of my favorite characters and millions of other people's favorite character, right? So that's how special Darth Revan is. And again, I'm going to reiterate this. If you love playing video games, if you love Star Wars, if you love a great story, go get Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. You will not regret it. My favorite game of all time, showcasing my favorite character of all time, and I'm excited for the people that haven't played it to play it. So that'll do for today. Let me know down below in the comments of what you think could happen with the potential Revan project, what you think will happen with a potential Revan project, and at the end of the day, if you want one, or if you don't know who Darth Revan is, let us know. We will expose you to a great character and a great story. So, like I said, leave your opinion below. Love to hear it. Agree or disagree, doesn't matter. Like and subscribe. And as always, may the Force be with you.